All right, so let's do an example of CPCTC. And you'll notice here, kind of in this box, it says that we're going to do the same exact thing that we've been doing. We're going to prove a triangle is congruent using one of our five types: side, 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 angle, 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 side, or hypotenuse leg. All right. But then the new step comes in our very last statement, which we know is our proof statement. Okay. In fact, if you look at this one right here, the proof statement is not your traditional one triangle congruent to another like we've been doing all week, okay? Instead, this time, if I scroll down, that's gonna go in this line here. Then the last line is gonna be our new CPCTC. That's gonna be where we say that once the triangle is congruent, then the certain parts of that triangle is gonna be congruent to the other one, all right? Let's show you what I mean by doing this first example, all right? So this one over here says given, move this over, says given that angle MNP is congruent to angle OPN and MN is congruent to OP, we need to prove that MP is congruent to NO. All right, so let's do that. We know how to fill in our givens and our proof statement. I'll let you do it on your paper. I'll do it on mine. And let's see, MNP, I guess that's already marked up for us on the picture. And MN is also marked up over here and here. And same thing, OPN. All right, so we just have to write it in our statements. Angle MNP is congruent to angle OPN. And that's given to us. All right, and our other given is MN is congruent to OP. Okay, and that is also given. All right, now our new proof statement is no longer, like I said, those two triangles congruent to each other. Instead, it's going to be this CPCTC part, which is MP is congruent to NO. Okay. So we cannot just we can't just fill it in with our triangles like we did in the last few. This time they have to give us something. However, we are going to be able to fill in our last spot with CPCTC over here, but we'll get to that here in a little bit. Okay. All right. So let's prove these two triangles congruent first. If I go back to my picture, let's see, I have a side, an angle, and I see right away that these are butted up against each other. Remember, when they're touching and they share a side, that's going to also be congruent by the reflexive property. So we can say NP is congruent to NP by the reflexive property. NP is congruent to NP by the reflexive property. Okay, and then this is kind of the hard part now, is where we have to say that those two triangles, all right? We used to just be able to copy it from our proof statement, but now we have to come up with what those two triangles are in the correct order. Remember, congruent statements are very picky with the order that they put things in, right? So for example, if I look at this one here, I might want to start, let's start at M in my kind of bottom left triangle. I'll go MNP, triangle MNP. Our first one, we can write it in any order, MNP, but the second one is where it gets tricky, because we have to do it in that same way. All right. So you'll notice here the M is the only kind of angle that doesn't really have anything. The only one in our top right triangle is O that does that. So I'm going to say O. And then in my last one went MNP. Well, N is the one that had the angle. So in my top one, I'm going to go from O to P with the angle listed out right here. So OPN. Okay, is congruent to triangle OPN. And our reason for this one is one of those 5 reasons that we've been doing all week. This one's going to be side, angle, side, and double check that the other one's the same. Side, angle, side. Yep. So we can say for line 4, side, angle, side. And then our last reason, MN is congruent to NO because of CPCTC. If you look at the triangle, that makes sense, right? MP, that's this one. I'm going to put 3 tick marks there. And the only really side that doesn't have anything yet is NO. So of course that has to be true. And that is by corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent, or CPCTC. All right. Hey guys, check out this video down below. I think it's actually down there. And that'll tell you our next section of notes you need to write down.